What if the greatest civilization in human history vanished in a single day? No slow decline, no long war, no warning, just fire, water, and silence. For over 2,000 years, the story of Atlantis has haunted historians, explorers, and dreamers alike. A powerful island empire, advanced beyond its time, rich in knowledge, engineering, and influence. And then, gone. But here's the question no one can answer with certainty. Was Atlantis a real lost continent, or a misunderstood ancient civilization twisted by time? The story begins with one man, Plato. Around 360 BC, he wrote two dialogues, Timaeus and Critias. In them, he described a mighty island civilization beyond the Pillars of Heracles, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, Atlantis was larger than Libya and Asia Minor combined. It had magnificent temples, massive harbors, concentric rings of water and land, and a powerful navy. Its people were wealthy, intelligent, and technologically impressive for their time. But they became arrogant, corrupt, hungry for conquest, and in a single catastrophic event, earthquakes and floods, Atlantis sank into the sea. Plato claimed this happened 9,000 years before his lifetime. That would place Atlantis around 9600 BC, long before the Egyptian pyramids, long before recorded civilization, which raises a serious problem. Modern archaeology tells us advanced urban civilizations did not exist that far back. So was Plato exaggerating? Or did we miss something? For centuries, many scholars believed Atlantis was nothing more than a philosophical allegory, a warning about pride and moral decay. But others weren't so sure. In the late 19th century, writers began suggesting Atlantis might be a real place, a lost continent in the Atlantic Ocean. Some even claimed it was the origin of all advanced civilizations. That idea captured the public imagination. Then, science stepped in. Geologists mapped the ocean floor. There was no sunken continent beneath the Atlantic. Plate tectonics showed no evidence of a massive landmass disappearing 12,000 years ago. The lost continent theory began to collapse. But the mystery didn't die. Instead, researchers began asking a different question. What if Atlantis wasn't a continent at all? What if it was a real civilization, just not where we thought? One leading candidate lies in the Mediterranean Sea, the island of Santorini in Greece. Around 1600 BC, a massive volcanic eruption known as the Thera eruption devastated the region. It was one of the largest volcanic events in human history. Entire cities were buried in ash. Tsunamis struck nearby coastlines. Civilizations collapsed. The Minoans, one of the most advanced Bronze Age cultures, were severely weakened. They had sophisticated architecture, plumbing systems, vibrant art, and powerful trade networks. Sound familiar? Some researchers believe Plato may have been referencing stories passed down from Egypt about this catastrophic event, but with timelines exaggerated or mistranslated. Instead of 9,000, perhaps it was 900. A simple numerical shift. Another theory places Atlantis in southern Spain, near the ancient city of Tartessus. Satellite imagery has revealed strange circular formations in marshlands near the Doñana National Park. Could those be remnants of a once great harbor city? Some archaeologists remain skeptical. Others remain curious. And then there are the more controversial claims. Underwater structures near the Bahamas, stone formations off Japan's Yonaguni Island, even Antarctica has been suggested. But so far, none provide conclusive proof. No inscriptions reading Atlantis, no undeniable artifacts, no smoking gun. So what are we left with? A story. But not just any story, a story that refuses to disappear. Because here's what makes Atlantis different from ordinary myths. It includes specific geographic details, political structure, architectural descriptions, a timeline, a moral lesson. Plato was not writing fantasy fiction. He was a philosopher, and philosophers often hide truths inside stories. Could Atlantis have been a real Bronze Age civilization destroyed by natural disaster? Possibly. Could it have been a cautionary tale about power and corruption? Also possible. Or perhaps it represents something even deeper, humanity's memory of a forgotten catastrophe at the end of the last ice age. Around 10,000 BC, sea levels rose dramatically as glaciers melted. Coastlines vanished. Entire settlements that once sat near ancient shores are now underwater. We know early humans lived along those coasts. We also know much of that evidence now lies beneath the sea. What if Atlantis wasn't a continent, but a collection of coastal civilizations lost to time? Not one city, but many, forgotten by time, buried beneath oceans that swallowed their foundations. The truth is this: Atlantis may never be found in the way treasure hunters imagine. There may be no golden capital rising from the deep, no grand temple perfectly preserved, but that doesn't mean the mystery is meaningless. Atlantis represents something powerful: the fragility of civilization, the danger of arrogance, the reality that even the greatest societies can fall. And history proves that part is true. The Roman Empire fell. The Maya cities were abandoned. The Minoans were devastated. Civilizations rise, and civilizations vanish, sometimes suddenly, sometimes permanently. So was Atlantis a lost continent? Geology says no. Was it a misunderstood ancient civilization destroyed by disaster? Possibly. Or was it something else entirely? A story reminding us that progress does not guarantee permanence. Maybe the real mystery of Atlantis isn't where it sank. Maybe it's why we keep searching for it. Because deep down, we know one thing: if a great civilization could disappear once, it could happen again. And that possibility keeps the legend alive. Atlantis may be lost, but the warning remains.